The tranquility of the canal path was shattered. A killer stalked the peaceful walkway. People once enjoyed leisurely strolls and bike rides along the water. Now fear gripped the community. The killer targeted women. He struck quickly and silently, leaving a trail of terror in his wake. The canal path, once a sanctuary, became a place of dread. The killer's modus operandi was chillingly consistent. He preyed on women alone, often in broad daylight. The victims were found near the water, their lives brutally cut short. The killer's audacity fueled the growing panic. How could someone commit such heinous acts in a place meant for peace and recreation? The community demanded answers. They wanted justice for the victims and an end to their nightmare. The police faced mounting pressure to catch the culprit. Every passing day without an arrest brought increased scrutiny and fear. The hunt for the Canal Path Killer had begun. The first victim was Sarah, a young artist known for her vibrant personality. She had a zest for life that was infectious, and her artwork was a reflection of her bright spirit. She was found on a crisp autumn morning, her easel and unfinished painting lying beside her. The community was shocked. The vibrant colors of her last piece stood in stark contrast to the grim scene. Sarah was loved by many. Her friends and family gathered to remember her, leaving flowers and candles at a makeshift memorial. Her loss left a void that could never be filled. Her murder was a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most peaceful places. The town, once serene, now felt cloaked in an eerie shadow. A few months later, Emily, a dedicated nurse on her way home from an overnight shift, became the killer's second victim. She was known for her tireless work ethic and compassionate care. The discovery of her body near the canal sent a chill down the spines of everyone who lived and worked in the area. Fear turned to paranoia. The once bustling canal path became a place of dread. The victims were all different ages, from different walks of life. They were mothers, daughters, friends, and colleagues, each with their own unique stories and dreams. But they were all women, and they were all alone when the killer struck. The sense of vulnerability was palpable, and every woman in the community felt the weight of the threat. The police struggled to find a connection, a pattern that could lead them to the killer. Each clue seemed to lead to a dead end, and the pressure to solve the case mounted. The media frenzy surrounding the case only amplified the terror. Headlines screamed of the latest developments, and news broadcasts kept the fear alive in every household. The Canal Path Killer became a grim legend, his name whispered in hushed tones. Stories of his deeds spread like wildfire, adding to the growing sense of unease. Fear was a constant companion for those who dared to venture near the canal. The once popular path was now a place of shadows and whispers where every step was taken with caution. The once vibrant community became a ghost town after sunset. The fear was palpable. People avoided the canal path, once a popular gathering spot. Mothers held their children closer. Joggers opted for treadmills. The fear seeped into everyday life. Women were afraid to go out alone. They changed their routines, their habits, their lives, all in an attempt to feel safe. The killer had stolen their sense of security. Community meetings were held, but they offered little comfort. The police had no answers, no leads, no suspects. The killer seemed to vanish into thin air after each attack. The lack of progress fueled the frustration and despair. The fear was a heavy weight on everyone's shoulders. It was a constant reminder of the killer in their midst, a predator lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike again. The community was united by fear, desperate for an end to the nightmare. The police faced immense pressure to solve the case. A dedicated task force was assembled, working tirelessly to uncover any clue that could lead them to the killer. They pored over evidence, interviewed witnesses, and chased down every lead. The investigation focused on the canal path itself. Detectives meticulously searched for any trace of the killer, footprints, fibers, anything that could provide a break in the case. The pressure mounted with each passing day. Eyewitnesses offered fragmented and often conflicting accounts. Some remembered seeing a dark figure lurking near the crime scenes. Others recalled a nondescript car parked nearby. The pieces of the puzzle remained elusive. Despite their efforts, the investigation seemed to hit dead end after dead end. The killer was a phantom, leaving no trace, no connection to the victims, and no apparent motive. The case grew colder with each passing season. Section 5. Dead Ends and False Leads. The investigation dragged on for months, then years. Every promising lead turned into a dead end. The task force, initially optimistic, grew weary. The pressure to find the killer intensified with each passing year. The police received countless tips from the public, but most led nowhere. Every supposed sighting of the killer proved to be a case of mistaken identity. The frustration was palpable. The killer seemed to be toying with them. False confessions and mistaken identities further complicated the investigation. Desperate for answers, some individuals fabricated stories, while others genuinely believed they had encountered the killer. Each dead end deepened the mystery. The case went cold. The task force, once a symbol of hope, was disbanded. The files, filled with dead ends and unanswered questions, gathered dust. The Canal Path Killer, it seemed, had vanished without a trace. Section 6, Science Speaks, the DNA Breakthrough. Years later, a glimmer of hope emerged from an unexpected source: advancements in DNA technology. These advancements were not just incremental, they represented a quantum leap in forensic science, offering new possibilities that were previously unimaginable. The police had carefully preserved evidence from the crime scenes, and now, with new techniques, they could re-examine it for DNA traces. This re-examination was meticulous, involving state-of-the-art equipment and highly skilled forensic experts. The DNA results were astonishing. They revealed information that had been hidden for years, bringing new light to the cold, dark cases. A match was found in a national database, linking the crimes to a man named Robert, who had a prior conviction for assault. This match was the breakthrough everyone had been waiting for. He had been living a seemingly normal life, blending into society. His demeanor was unassuming, making it hard for anyone to suspect his dark past. The discovery sent shockwaves through the community. People were in disbelief, struggling to reconcile the man they knew with the crimes he was accused of. Robert was someone's neighbor, someone's co-worker, someone's friend. He was a part of the community's fabric, making the revelation even more jarring. No one suspected him of being capable of such horrific acts. The community was left grappling with the duality of his existence. The news of his arrest brought a mix of relief and disbelief. Relief that the perpetrator was finally caught, and disbelief that it was someone they knew. The DNA evidence was irrefutable. It was the key that unlocked the mystery, providing concrete proof that could not be denied. It provided the long-awaited break in the case, finally giving a name and a face to the monster who had terrorized the community for so long. The sense of closure was palpable. The wheels of justice, stalled for years, began to turn again. The community could finally start to heal, knowing that justice was being served. Section 7, Unmasking the Monster. Robert's arrest sent shockwaves through the community. He was a quiet family man, leading a seemingly ordinary life. Neighbors described him as unremarkable, even boring. His double life, hidden in plain sight, was chilling. The investigation into Robert's past revealed a history of violence against women. He had a previous conviction for assault, and his ex-wife described him as controlling and abusive. The patterns of his past were eerily similar to the Canal Path murders. Psychological experts who studied Robert's case concluded that he was a classic psychopath, charming on the surface but deeply disturbed and lacking empathy. His ability to blend in and maintain a facade of normalcy made him even more terrifying. The revelation of Robert's true nature sent chills down the spines of those who knew him. He was a reminder that evil can lurk beneath the most unassuming exteriors, and that monsters often hide in plain sight. Section 8. Justice Served, the Trial and Conviction. The trial of Robert was a media sensation, capturing the attention of the entire nation. Every major news outlet covered the proceedings, and the public was glued to their screens, eager for updates. The courtroom was packed with victims' families, reporters, and curious onlookers, all eager to witness justice being served. The atmosphere was tense, with emotions running high as everyone awaited the outcome. The prosecution presented a mountain of evidence, including the damning DNA results. They meticulously laid out their case, leaving no stone unturned in their quest for justice. Robert's defense team argued that the DNA evidence was circumstantial and that he was being framed. They claimed that the evidence was mishandled and that there were numerous inconsistencies in the prosecution's case. They painted him as a victim of his past, a changed man who had turned his life around. They brought in character witnesses to testify to his good behavior and efforts to reform. But the jury was unconvinced. They listened intently to both sides, weighing the evidence and testimonies carefully. After weeks of testimony and deliberation, the jury reached a verdict: guilty. The decision was unanimous, reflecting the strength of the prosecution's case. Robert was convicted on all counts of murder. The weight of the evidence was simply too overwhelming for the defense to counter. The courtroom erupted in a mix of gasps and sobs as the weight of the verdict sank in. Families of the victims hugged each other, some crying tears of relief, others of sorrow. The judge, visibly moved by the gravity of the case, sentenced Robert to life in prison without the possibility of parole. His words were stern, yet filled with a sense of finality. While nothing could bring back the victims, the sentence brought a sense of closure to the community. People gathered outside the courthouse, lighting candles and sharing stories, united in their grief and relief. Section 9. A legacy of loss. The Canal Path Killer case left an indelible mark on the community. The fear may have subsided, but the scars of the past remained. The victims' families continued to grieve, forever haunted by their loss. The case served as a stark reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places. It shattered the illusion of safety and forced people to confront the darkness that can exist within seemingly ordinary individuals. The canal path, once a place of terror, slowly began to heal. People returned, cautiously at first, to reclaim their space and honor the memory of those lost. The community, forever bound by tragedy, found strength and resilience. The Canal Path Killer case remains a haunting tale, a reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of hope and justice. The victims will never be forgotten, and their stories continue to serve as a warning and a call for vigilance.